Many men today carry a lot of stress, but most people never see it. Because for many men, stress doesn't look dramatic. It doesn't always involve emotional breakdowns. It often looks quiet, calm on the outside, but heavy on the inside. They go to work every day. They solve problems. They handle responsibilities. From the outside, everything appears normal, but internally, the pressure keeps building. Psychologists sometimes call this silent stress. It's the kind of stress that doesn't get talked about, the kind that builds slowly in the background of everyday life. And many men experience it without even realizing how heavy it has become. But why does this happen? Why do so many men carry stress quietly instead of talking about it? Psychology suggests that several hidden patterns are involved, and the first one begins very early in life. Many men grow up learning a specific message about emotions. Be strong. Handle your problems yourself. Don't complain too much. These messages are not always spoken directly, but they appear in subtle ways. In the way boys watch other men deal with problems, in cultural expectations about masculinity, and in the idea that strength means being able to carry pressure alone. Over time, many men develop a habit. When something stressful happens, they deal with it privately. Instead of talking about pressure, they try to solve it internally. Instead of sharing emotional struggles, they focus on fixing the situation. This approach can be useful in many situations. It can create resilience. It can help people stay calm under pressure. But it can also create a hidden problem. Because when stress is handled entirely alone, it often accumulates. The mind never gets the opportunity to release the pressure. But there's another reason silent stress has become more common. Modern life has become increasingly demanding. Responsibilities often arrive all at once. Work pressure, financial concerns, family expectations. Uncertainty about the future. For many men, life can feel like a constant series of problems to solve. And when people are constantly focused on solving problems, they rarely pause to process the emotional weight those problems create. Instead, the mind keeps moving forward. One responsibility after another, one challenge after another. And over time, this creates a quiet form of exhaustion. But there is another psychological factor that makes silent stress even more difficult. Many men tie their identity strongly to responsibility, being reliable, being capable, being able to handle difficult situations. These qualities can be incredibly valuable, but they also create a hidden pressure. Because when someone builds their identity around being strong and dependable, it can feel uncomfortable to admit when something feels overwhelming. Instead of sharing stress, many men simply carry it. But here is where the psychology becomes especially interesting. Stress is not only about the problems people face. It is also about how those problems are processed. When stress is shared with others, the brain often experiences relief. Talking about pressure allows the mind to organize thoughts and release emotional tension. But when stress remains internal, the brain continues processing it repeatedly. The mind keeps revisiting the same concerns, the same responsibilities, the same worries about the future. And over time, silent stress can begin to affect many parts of life. Sleep becomes lighter, thoughts become more restless. The mind feels busy even during moments of rest. But here is the deeper insight about silent stress. Most men do not carry stress silently because they want to. They carry it silently because they learned that this is what strength looks like. But true resilience is not only about carrying pressure. It is also about knowing when pressure needs to be shared. Human beings were never designed to carry every burden alone. The brain evolved for connection, for communication, for support from others. And when those connections are present, stress often becomes easier to manage. Understanding the psychology of silent stress does not mean abandoning strength. It simply means recognizing that strength can include honesty, the ability to say when something feels difficult, and the willingness to allow others to understand what you are going through. Because sometimes the most powerful way to reduce stress is not by solving every problem alone. Sometimes it begins with allowing yourself to be understood. If this perspective made you think differently about stress, you're not the only one. Many men carry silent stress every day without realizing how common it really is. And understanding these patterns can help us better understand ourselves and the people around us. If you enjoy exploring psychology and human behavior like this, make sure to subscribe and like. Because sometimes the most important insights about the mind are the ones that help us carry life a little more easily.